Hey everybody, Prep Nurse One here. Let me get up here a little bit closer. Can everybody hear me okay? Saving Humanity, how are you tonight? Hi from Rhode Island. Can you guys hear me okay? Yep, okay, cool. All right, so so here's what I want to talk about real quick with people, just so you guys know, and I'll mention it again. If you have a question, try to put it all in caps so that I can kind of see it better. Hey, cool dude one, how you doing, neighbor? Um, so we're going to talk about going off grid. And so, like I said, if you have questions, please put them in all caps so that we can, so hopefully I can see them better. And the reason, so somebody's asked me why I don't wear my glasses when I'm doing these live chats. I need my glasses for distance. So in order to read what you guys are putting here on the side, I have to really kind of like lean forward, look at it, because I need, my glasses are for distance, not for close up. So that's why I don't have my glasses on when I'm doing this. Okay. So just letting you guys know. So, okay. So we're going to jump into this right away about living off grid. Okay. So first thing I would recommend to anybody, if you're looking to go off grid, again, a lot of the important things to look for is location. Where do you want to be located? Okay. So that's kind of an important thing. Is there a way to test your well water on your own? No, there's not. You actually have to. When we had our well water tested, I had to take it into the town, give them a sample, and they tested our water for us there. And so that's unfortunately that's the way you have to have your well water tested. You have to actually take it in someplace to get it tested. Okay. Let's see. Oh, nice. Got a ranch here in Texas. I think it's Texas. I don't know if you got where you are, GP Gouda. All right. But anyway, so a couple things you're going to want to look for when you're looking to go off grid. Okay. Location is going to be a big thing. Where do you want to go? And for everybody, that answer is not always the same. Like I said, for myself, I was looking for high elevation, more isolated, not a lot of people. And, so it's more peace. Oh, Missouri. Okay. GP Gouda is in Missouri. Okay. The Texas land I'm getting next week. Okay, cool. Very cool. What made you what made me decide to go off grid? Okay, I was looking at my situation and was in my 40s. And so I was thinking, okay, where do I want to be in 10 years? Where do I want to be in 20 years? And I really was looking at the long-term situation financially and putting myself in a situation where financially that I would be in a much better situation. Let's see. Oh, there's somebody just said on here, there's kits that you can buy to test your water for $40 at home. That I did not know. But so anyway, with doing it that way, I looked at my situation, and for me, I wanted to downsize. I didn't want to have high taxes. I didn't want to have, huge expense on a house and upkeep on a house. So like I said, I was looking to downsize. I'm looking long term, because the kids were not going to obviously be home forever, but that's kind of what I was looking at. That's kind of what really was a catalyst that got me going. And I wanted a simpler, easier life, and I wanted peace, to be honest with you. I hated being in suburbia. I had lived in the city previous to that. I grew up in the country. And canned soup and meat last? Oh, from the store. Okay. Anything from a can, guys, when you have canned food, it can last a really, really long time. What you're looking for is swelling in the can. When you open that can, if it smells bad, then you know it's not any good, okay? Otherwise, 10, 15 years later, you could eat those canned goods. You really can. All they're losing is the nutritional value. But if you're in a situation where you're starving, those are going to be just wonderful 10 years from now. So that's how many solar panels do you recommend for a family of 3 kids? Well, I'm going to tell you what. If you have kids, you definitely want to have more power. My kids were always, that was their biggest thing. More power, more power, more power. Kids want to be able to play their games. The biggest thing, what I want to try to explain to people too, when you go off grid, especially if you have kids, You want to try to keep things as normal as you possibly can. That's really, really important, because if you can keep things normal, it's not that hard of a transition for them. And actually, kids are very, very resilient. They're very resilient. So they'll adjust way better than actually adults will. So, but having enough power for the kids is important. So, okay. So anyway, are you racist against black people? I saw a Confederate flag at your house. All right. You know what, guys? Okay, here, we're going to talk about that in a second. I'm not racist towards anybody. I fly the Confederate flag because it's the last time in this country when people stood up and said they're not going to take any more crap. It has absolutely nothing to do with racism. It has all to do with freedom and being able to, speak your mind. So for me, it's about a pride thing. It's about the last time people in this country stood up and said, I'm not taking it anymore. Okay. So no, I'm definitely not a racist. And I like all people. I actually, when I lived in North Carolina, when I was in my 20s, I had a woman that I dated who was black, and I would have married her actually. And she couldn't handle the fact that this is back in the early 90s, guys. So she couldn't handle the way that people treated us as an interracial couple. Me, I could care less. If you like me or don't like me, doesn't make any bit of difference. So that's, the do not tread on me flag I do have. And actually somebody is going to be sending me the POW MIA flag. I'm going to be getting that hopefully soon. Okay. So getting back to the topic with, especially if you have kids, a couple things that's real important to remember if you have children and you're going to look at moving off grid. Okay. How did I get the kids on board to make the change? I just told them we're moving. That's how I did it. And, they were with me. So that's how, they really didn't have much of a choice, but they adjusted very, very well. When we moved up here, I told my kids at the very beginning, I said, I'm going to tell you right now. I said, the first 2 weeks that we are here is going to suck. And I said, it's going to get better. And they were like, okay, Dad. So, letting them know, being upfront with you guys, your kids, that's a huge, huge thing. Okay. Would I ever recommend an underground shelter? I definitely would like to. I would recommend an underground shelter, but you got to make sure that it's going to be a big enough space, depending on how many people you have, that you have a way to have proper ventilation, that you also have, way to have power and sunlight in there. And room is going to be the biggest thing. I definitely want to put in a root cellar myself, and I want to have it a good size one that I can use as a backup shelter, bomb shelter, if you will, or whatever kind of emergency shelter. So, yeah, I definitely think that you should have one, but, have more than one way to get out. Don't have one way in and one way out, okay? What do you think about hiding in a cave when SHTF happens? You know what? That can work as well. Absolutely, that can work. Again, you want to have more than one way to get out of wherever you're going to be, okay? So could you use an underground culvert? The only thing with a culvert, guys, is you got to remember what a culvert is used for. A culvert is used for running water. So if there's flooding and you're in a culvert, you're going to be in trouble. So a culvert, yes, can be used, but I would recommend, if you're going to do that, is building up on a platform higher up and giving enough room underneath so that if the water's going to come, and even if there's a little bit of a flood water, that you're not going to have an issue. And even if that means farther up the river, damming it up a little bit so you're not having as much of a water flow. Okay. So anyway, so going back to going off grid, do I have running water in a pump? Yes, I do. I have running water. We have a well. I have a 1,000-gallon storage tank that I put into the property. If you go back and you look at some of the old videos, I did a series of videos when we put that in. And I have a Gould pump actually right above me that pumps the water from my storage tank into the house. And that's how we have our water. And that runs on 120. So it's no issues whatsoever with that at all. All right. So anyway, so again, like I said, for the people that are just coming in, if you have a questions, please put it all in capitals for me. Okay. And then that way, I'll see your question better. Okay. So somebody says, how do I handle sanitation? Well, sanitation can be handled several different ways. You can use a composting toilet. You can use a regular, underground storage, tank that you would, like a septic tank. Okay. You can have, like we have in our camper, we have a toilet in the camper, so it has a holding tank in there. So there's several different ways that you can, use facilities. Okay. All right. So then getting back to what we were talking about, I know I'm looking at your comments here, guys, and I'm trying to answer as we go. How did you figure out a bug out location? Okay. So what I did, or how do you, okay, what you want to look at, it depends again of where you want to be. So what you're going to want to look for is not a ton of people. There's obviously going to be people probably wherever you go. So what do we do for water for our shower? Just out of the well. I have a hot water on demand unit in my bathroom, and we use the well water and we pump it in, and that's how we take our showers, just like a normal shower. Okay, so freezing pipes in the winter? Absolutely not. And I'm going to tell you why. Last year, we got down to minus 15 degrees up here. And my plumber, who did all my plumbing work for me, he dug those lines down quite a ways when he put the lines in. And I actually called him last winter and said his name, oh, God, I'm going blank here a second. Joel is the guy's name. So I said to him, Joel, this is Ed. I just wanted to call you and tell you thank you. The pipes were working great. We've had no freezing pipes. And like I said, it was 15 below. That was the air temperature without the wind chill. So anyway, I think I might probably have missed a few questions here. Let's see. What do I think about the arms with China and Russia? I'm going to tell you what, I'm more worried about China than I would ever be about Russia, to be honest with you. That's definitely, the thing. And somebody had asked on here, how well was the adjustment from city life to country living and living off grid? Actually, it wasn't that bad. It really, really wasn't. It was something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I was determined to do it. And so that is, that was just it's a mindset, guys. It really, truly is. Is it easy? Nope, sure isn't. It's not easy, but is it worth it in the long run? To me, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And there's nothing like wood heat. There's nothing like having that fireplace. And when it's cold, like this weekend, we're looking at sub-zero temperatures this weekend. We got a storm coming in. They're saying anywhere from 18 to 24 inches starting tomorrow. So we are going to be probably laying low, and that's what we're going to do. Do I have public electricity or just solar? Oh, wow. NOK. Wow. Thank you so much. That's crazy. Wow. Thank you very much. So anyway, thank you very much. That's insane. I never expected that, but thank you so much. We have the solar system, and that's our main source of power. I have a backup generator as well. So when we're not getting enough power with the solar, we get it with the generator. That's how we create our power. So, and when the generator's running, it's also at the same time I did not move to lithium batteries yet. I'm going to go to a different battery, and we'll discuss that down the road. But we'll do stuff about this. We'll do a video all about solar here coming up too. I mean, we can do here's the thing is too, guys, what I would like you guys to do is my email is preppernurse1.com .com. Okay. Or what am I? No, at yahoo.com. Sorry. preppernurse1 at yahoo.com. If you have ideas that you would like to see in upcoming videos for live chats, please throw them out there. Send me ideas, and I'll make a list, and we'll go through, and I'll try to get to everybody. Okay. But anyway, we have the backup generator, and that charges the batteries while the generator is running. Okay. So that's what we're doing for right now, as far as with our system and stuff like that. Okay. So, yeah, it's a whole house generator. Works for the whole house. It's absolutely, we don't have a huge home, but we have enough, What do you use for cooking oil? We don't have cooking oil. So I have propane. I have a propane tank in the yard, and that's how we use to heat our hot water. We cook on the wood stove or I have a gas grill outside that we use that as well. Like if it's summertime, we use that. How do I use propane? I just have lines running from the propane tank. I have one line running into the camper, and I also have another line that runs into the house. So, but I don't have a traditional stove. We use the wood stove, or I use the gas grill outside. Look at your Facebook message, PN1. Okay, my Facebook message. What do we got here? Hold on, guys. Yeah, I didn't see the question. Mike, if you could throw me the question again, that would be great. Okay, with everything going on, this was another question. Yeah, Nokia, please, I'm sorry I didn't get your question. If you would like to throw that in there again for me so I can see it, or Mike is going to send it to me. So, anyway, somebody asked, is it smart to go off grid now? Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Any time is a good time, okay, to go off grid. The sooner you do it, the better. Ultimately, guys, here's the thing is, I hope nothing ever happens. I honestly do, you know. Oh, in a flat, that's tough. That would be tough to do in a flat. Yeah, that's tough to do as far as that goes. Yeah. How long do I think to go? Okay, let me go back to this other question. I'm seeing all these questions pop up. Oh my goodness, what was? Okay, going off grid. I hope nothing ever happens. And if nothing ever happens 20 years from now, I still don't have a mortgage payment. My place is going to be better. I'm going to be able to take that money that I would be wasting and giving to a bank for interest and credit cards and all that type of thing. I can take that money and put it into my property to make my property better. And that's what it's all about. It's about that freedom. Okay. Now, somebody else had asked, do I think that the shutdown will last a long time? I'm hoping not, and I'm going to tell you why. You know, everybody wants to make fun of all the people that are receiving benefits and stuff like that. A lot of those people that receive benefits, guys, are a lot of older people that have worked their whole life that are getting help. Okay, it's not just lazy people. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of disabled people out there that's how they're feeding themselves. Okay, so to me, it's not a joke. Okay, and I hope that they resolve this nonsense rather quickly because it's a game being played on both sides. Both sides are playing a game. Okay. Best day to go off grid. Let's see. The best place to go off grid. God, you know, it depends on what your preference is. You know, it absolutely depends on your preference. So again, guys, if you want to ask a question, all caps, please. So that those are gonna stand out a little bit more if you have a question. Okay. So anyway, let's see. So with living off grid, there's a freedom with it. Okay. What do you think about not paying institutional income tax? Well, I wish we could get away with that, but unfortunately, what kind of insulation does your house have? Roxol insulation, the best insulation. The bugs don't like it. It's a sound suppressor, and it's a really great insulation. I highly, highly recommend it. RUXOL, I believe is how you spell it. Okay. Do I think that the riots and the food epidemic will start next month? I'm hoping not, to be honest with you. I really, truly don't. I hope it doesn't happen. There is a lot of craziness that could come with that, and nothing good will come of that. Okay, nothing good will come of that at all. Absolutely, I think we're being played by the government all the way. Absolutely, we're never going to know this full truth. We're always manipulated. They pit us against each other all the time now, guys. I mean, just look at right now. Never in history, I'm 53 years old, okay? Never in my time have I seen a country so divided, left and right. It's insanity. It is insanity. And if we can look past the BS and look at what the real issues are, we could actually solve some problems in this country, okay? Now, as far as the tax things goes, I'm going back to that question. I think it would be great if we didn't have to pay unconstitutional taxes that we're forced to pay nonstop all the time. But, the Grove, thank you very much, man. Is making a major announcement at 3 p.m. tomorrow. The Grove, thank you for the donation. I did not know that. So hopefully it'll resolve a lot of this nonsense. I hope. But anyway, if you don't pay your taxes now, they're going to come and take your property. So there's really nothing you can do about it. I mean, go back and look at the Randy Reavers situation up there in Ruby Ridge. You know, I mean, that is a great example of what happens when you don't play the game. It's a game. That's what you got to remember, okay? It's really, truly a game, okay? Let's see. What are the advantages of bugging out in the mountains versus the open plains? Well, here's the thing. Is in mountains, what I like about the higher elevation is the fact that, and I'm going to have a little sip of my tea. Make sure I'm going to turn it so you guys can see that. The advantages of being a higher elevation, people are going to go the path of least resistance. So right away, people are not going to be climbing uphill. So the higher up you are, the better that you're going to be as far as in what shape you're going to be in, as far as where you're going to be. And so, you know, that's to me, that's important. If you're on the plains, you're on a flat area, not a lot of protection, okay? Protection against sewage backup, tools to stop it. That would be good to have, absolutely. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. What do you think of lard for a long-term cooking oil? Will it go rancid? I don't know the shelf life of lard, to be honest with you. If you have it, I would say, you know, get it into your rotation right away and use that. I really don't know what the shelf life is on that. I'm sorry. That's one thing I don't know. I wish I did. I'll have to look that up. I'll try to find that out, though. Anyway, so let me see if he got back to me here on this. Oh, okay. NOK asked, would I connect my group with other groups? I absolutely would do that. You know, I've already talked to some people in the general region of New York State that are already having groups, and we have talked about working together. Okay, we absolutely have, because if one location gets overrun, there is other locations, safe places it can go. So I think that that's a really good idea. Oh, Bloomfield. Hey, Bloomfield, how you doing? Bloomfield, New York. I know exactly where that is. Should I wear camouflage during the day to avoid detection when SHTF happens? I would not. You want to be as low-key as you possibly can. You want to be like everybody else, okay? Everybody else. You want to try to blend in as much as you possibly can. You do not want to stand out. That's one, you know, that's one of the things for sure. Do I believe New York will be wiped out anyway? I wouldn't want to be in New York City. I'll put it like that. I'm very lucky. I'm about 400 miles away from New York City. So, you know, when I tell people that I'm in New York, they think, oh my God, New York City. I'm not close to New York City, guys. I'm absolutely not. So, but let's see. Long Island. Yeah, that's not a place I would really want to be when SHTF happens, to be honest with you, George. I'm sorry. Look skinny like everyone else. Yes, absolutely. Okay, yeah, it's like with hunting, you know, I just got a thing on my phone here. Knowing how to use a bow and arrow, very, very smart. You want to do stealth hunting. You want to be as quiet as you possibly can. If you're out there banging around in the woods with everybody else who's banging around in the woods, you're going to be in some deep, deep trouble, you know. Let's see, we are getting a snowstorm here tonight. Donna, where are you at? A cemetery? I don't know. That would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. I'm not sure. Where would you stay? You know, where would you stay? I mean, as far as that goes. So let's see. What do we got here? Do you recommend connection with groups? Absolutely. I just said that prepared grunt. I just actually just talked about that. Having other groups that you can work with and talk with, I think it's really, really important. There's groups that are going to be formed, guys, after SHTF happens. If there is a way that you can communicate and work out a trade system with other groups, and hopefully you're going to be able to tell if people are bad or if they're a decent group. Where's the best place to buy survival food bins and kits? It really depends on what you're looking to get. I mean, if you're looking for freeze-dried foods, I'm absolutely going to recommend Legacy Foods because I eat them. I store them here at my homestead. My IT guy, Mike, he has them as well. They're very, very good to have. Now, you should have a complete mix of stuff. You should have freeze-dried foods. You should have canned goods. You should have long-term food storage, your beans and your rice and those type of things. Honey, get localized honey. Let's see. Okay, limiting the smell of food. That's going to be a tough one. I don't see how you're going to be able to limit the smell of food. I really, really don't. So you're going to have to do what you have to do. That's one of the good things about being farther out in the country. Hopefully, a whole lot of people are not going to be. Hello, Soxy. I'm going to kick this around here, guys, so you can see. Let's see. There she is. And then I got a couple of the boys on the bed. I always have my cats with me. I always have my cats. So let's see. No disrespect, okay, but being online, I'm telling everybody where I am. I know that. I absolutely know that. But the thing is, if you don't put yourself out there and try to help people, what's it all worth in the long run anyway? And realistically, in an SHTF situation, worst case scenario, if you are less than 100 miles away from me, you're not getting here. And if you do come here with bad intentions, that's really not a good idea, okay? Are you rubbing on the mic? Don't rub on the mic. Come on. No, go over there. That's a good girl. Let's see. Central Illinois, love your program, watch you every day. Hey, thank you very much, James. I appreciate that. Very nice. Thank you. You know what? I think dogs and cats are important to company. Dogs are great for an early warning system. You know, your cats are going to get your rodents and your pests. You know, if you have food storage put away and stuff like that, you're looking at having, you know, a situation where, you know, you want to make sure that you're not getting mice and other things. And that's what cats are great for. They're natural born hunters, you know. So let's see what we got here. Okay, if you're on medication, we can talk about that too a little bit. We'll talk about being on medication. My advice, I'm not telling you what to do, but my advice to you, Eddie, you want to come over and say hi real quick? Come over here, bub. Just say hi. Come on over here. Eddie's over here, so hold on. He's going to come over and say hello. Look right into the camera over here. Say hi to everybody.
How are you?
All right. Go ahead. Do what you got to do. Okay, so with medications, what my advice to be, the advice that and I'm going to get, there's another comment I saw there too, but the advice that I would give you is if you're on medications, okay, all right, silly. If you're on a medication and you want to try to get a stockpile, the companies are only going to give you so much, or maybe give you a 90-day supply max. So what I would suggest, and I'm not telling you to do this, I'm making a suggestion. Once or twice a week, skip that med. Okay, and even if you did it once a week, you'd be amazed how fast that builds up. So if you skip the med once a week, whatever day you decide to skip, and then put that to the last, and then use that one once your 90-day supply is up, that's the one you're going to use first. And you put that into the rotation, and before you know it, you could actually have your 90-day prescription plus an extra 3 months or so ahead. It'll take a while, but that would be a good way to work up and build up. Meds are only going to be good for so long. That's another thing to remember, okay? So, Kim, I see you say you get a 90-day supply. So that would be one way to deal with that if you want to do that way. Now, I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm telling you that's one way to build up a stockpile of your meds. But make sure that you use your oldest meds first, okay? Oh, Thomas, thank you very much. I have a freeze dryer in most press, but need people network. Contact us. Well, I'll tell you what, Thomas, shoot me an email, preppernurse1@yahoo.com. We'll put it out there, and we'll see if we can't get some connections in your area. Okay, so we'll talk about that for sure. And thank you very much for the donation. How away from any major city? At least an hour would be my advice. At least an hour if you can, because the thing is, the major cities. Here's a misnomer what people think as far as major cities goes. Okay. They think that the people are going to use all their supplies in the cities, and then they're going to come out and they're going to devastate the country. It's not what they're familiar with. They're not comfortable being out of that environment. Now, they're going to go to suburbia. So I would say within a 10 to 15 mile radius of that city, they will go in that area. Past that, I don't see it happening. Number one, they're going to meet too much resistance. And number two, there's no lights on at night. So they're going to have issues as far as that goes. So anyway, so that's that's the thing. It's, if you can be at least an hour outside the city, I think you're going to be in good shape. And the higher elevation that you can be, guys, the better it's going to be. Okay. Oh, my cousin's on here, Doug. He says, grow weed, it's a natural medication. Absolutely. When SHTF happens, guys, there's no more rules anymore. And you can grow marijuana for medicinal purposes, for pain, for seizures. There's a lot of stuff, okay? So So anyway, that would be my, that would be my suggestion on that part. It's like once SHTF happens and all bets are off, so save your seeds. That would be my best advice. Somebody just said they were in a lesbian relationship and it was hard trying to form a group. You're going to get judgmental people. You are. So you want to try to find like-minded people that are going to be decent people. That would definitely be my advice. Okay. So that, as far as that goes, let's see. So anyway, and the thing is, in nature too, guys, and somebody just said this about a book. I have all kinds of books on medicinal plants. So there's a lot of stuff right in nature that you can do. I do not follow Q. I've seen some of this stuff, but I really don't follow it on a regular basis. No, I don't. I'm sorry. Let's see. So, all right, somebody said check Facebook. I will definitely do that. But anyway, so I actually have, if you can put on my Facebook page too, Prepper Nurse One. I have a Facebook page too. So if you have questions that way, you can also answer. I can answer questions that way as well. So let's see here. Again, if you want to answer a question, all capitals, and I'll try to answer it as it's coming through here, guys, because there's a lot of them coming through and it's going through fast. So if I miss something, I apologize. It's not done on purpose. Okay. Okay. So with living off grid. Thank you. Let's talk about prepping. Thank you very much. And that sounds great. I look forward to hearing from you. If you are looking to go off grid, you're going to want to find the place that you are comfortable at. If you want to be near water, be near water. If you want to be higher elevation, be higher elevation. You want to look at logistics of what's going to be the safest place to be. Arkansas is a very, very wooded area, a lot of higher elevation in Arkansas. So not a bad place to be. Okay. A lot of fresh water down in that area too. Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, they're good areas. You have, you still have the change of seasons. Like I lived in North Carolina, but, they still had the seasons, but winter was a joke down there. So, they don't get it like we get it up here. Oh, about choosing a bug out location. Okay, sorry. Okay, so when choosing that location, you're going to look, like I said, you're going to look for logistics, where you want to be. You're going to want to look to see if there's fresh water, either a well or those type of thing. You're going to want to see what your taxes are going to be. You're going to want to see what the local laws are for whatever township that you're going to go into. Those are important things as far as a bug out location goes. If you can make a camp, and, do that type of thing. That's another thing, but, that's, definitely something to check into. Okay. So I hope that answers that question. Let's see. Better to buy or make your own first aid kit. I would say make your own first aid kit, because if you're going to buy it, a lot of times it's not going to be good quality stuff. I'd rather have you go out and, go out and get good quality stuff and build your own kit. That's definitely a good thing. Let's see. Best book of herbal remedies in medicine. What is? There are so many, guys. It's hard to say what the best one is. Go to the store, look and see what they have. If they have pictures in the book that shows you the plant and you can go home and identify those plants, that's not a bad one to have. Okay. So do you have a recommendations for a seed survival kit? Get as many seeds as you can. If you can freeze them. It's a better way to do it. Definitely buy heirloom seeds. You don't want to be buying genetically altered seeds. So, or heirloom, or however you say it right. It's heirloom. Okay. Sorry. So when to start bugging out? You're going to have to watch for the signs. If things are looking like they're going to be bad, it's better to get out a week early than a week late. I mean, that's the only advice I can give you with that. Yeah, comms are very important as well. We can do a whole video on that. We can do a whole chat on that alone. That'll be something, like I said, again, shoot me ideas, what you want to see, and we can definitely run over different things. But as far as, when you're buying your property, taxes are huge. Okay, you want to make sure your taxes are as cheap as you possibly can have them be. The local laws are really, really important. So you definitely you want to look at those type of things. So let me see. Books for medical. Yeah, well, medical books to have first aid kits, basic first aid, having things on how to take care of minor injuries and those type of things. Really, really important to have. Knowledge is power, guys. And if you have it in hardcover in your hand, that is definitely the best way to go. Okay, so do I think it'll happen within the next 6 months? I hope not. I'll be honest with you. It is hard to say. It could happen anytime. The way I see it happening is one day we're going to go to bed and everything is going to be fine. We're going to wake up the next day and it's going to be complete and utter chaos. That's how I see it happening. Okay. It's hard to tell. It really, really is. So, I mean, there's no thing to say, I know it's going to be this long. We can't make predictions. The only thing I made a prediction on, and somebody called me on this, okay? The only thing that I've made a prediction on was that I thought the Republicans were going to win the House in the elections, and I was completely wrong. But I didn't say, I said, well, I thought. So I guess that was, greenhouse, I think, is hugely important. Hugely important. If you can have a greenhouse and grow your own vegetables in a controlled environment, I think that is huge, and that's very, very important. Okay, so also teach yourself to stitch a wound. Yeah, well, there you go. That's for sure. Like I said, learning, you can take a chicken and cut a chicken and learn to sew up, with stitches on it with a chicken. I mean, there's lots of different ways to do it, guys. Lots of different ways to do it. If you have sugar maples, learn how to tap and sap. Yep. We have them up here, and I help my neighbor. He runs like 50 or 60 taps a year, and I've been helping him the last couple of years. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And he does sap every year. So, yep, that is definitely a good thing to do. How would you grow food if Yellowstone blows? Well, here's the thing. After the initial ash comes down, it's going to be overcast. You're still going to get sunlight through the clouds, okay? You're still going to be able to get solar power, just not as much. So if you have a greenhouse, as long as you can regulate that temperature in a greenhouse, which geothermal would regulate the temperature very well, it's a good way to do it, okay? It's a very good way to do it. Let's see in here. That's not, okay. So, but that would be a good way. Your greenhouses are going to be huge. If you have greenhouses, it's going to make all the difference. How much gas do you keep on hand? Okay, I keep myself generally about 60 gallons of gas on hand at all times. I recommend that people keep gas on hand. The big thing that I would say is what I do with my gas is I have the preservative that's going to make it last longer, up to 2 years. But what I do is I rotate my gas every 6 months. So every April and every October, I use up all my old gas within that month period of time, and then I get new one. As soon as I empty one, I take it down and I refill it. So I'm always having a full amount. Merry Christmas. What do I think about giants and robots taking over? I don't think that that's realistic, I'll be honest with you. The AIs that they're working on, could that be an issue down the road? Yeah, I think that could be an issue down the road. So that's, absolutely. So, and thank you for the donation, by the way, too. Let's see. Yeah, having a ham radio is definitely a good idea. I have actually somebody's going to be sending me a couple here very shortly. I talked with him, and hold on a second here. Yeah, okay, like I said, and another thing, somebody just sent me a thing here. Pamela Sherry, let's see. I would like to have a partner. I wouldn't lie to you. I would love to have a lady in my life. It does get lonely at times. It's meeting the right like-minded person. That's, so, if any single ladies out there, if you'd like to get in contact with me, we can talk and we can go from there. But I need to have somebody that is in the same mindset as me and that has the same goals and wants to live off grid. Okay. So, there you go. So, but thank you for the donation as well. Let's see. Okay, buying over-the-counter medicine. Yeah, a lot of them, the prices are higher if you're paying for the name brand. So I definitely compare them. Look at them, and you're going to see the same exact ingredients in that medication. Buy the off-brand name because it's the same exact thing, you know. Yeah, Prepper's Only dating app, exactly. Let's see. Right. Right, exactly. I should do a dating prepper nurse one. Right, that would be funny. Let's see. Learn to distill alcohol. Not a bad idea. Not just for drinking. Can be used as disinfectant as well and stuff like that. And believe me, when SHTF happens, people will figure out how to make alcohol really, really quickly. Cody, yes, thank you for the donation. Number one. Nuclear power plants are definitely something to be concerned about. Very, very. If you're close to one, I would think about moving, to be honest with you, because if we have a major issue and they all shut down and those reactors melt, that would be a very, very bad situation. Very bad situation. Hobo rocket stove. Yep, that absolutely. Is it harmful near a window? No, as long as you got a window and it can vent and you're getting that fresh air for that, would not be a bad thing at all. Not a bad thing at all. But if you can have a contained unit, but I mean, a hobo setup where, like, if you lived in an apartment, it'd be a good thing as well. But the thing is, what you got to remember, that smell is going to be going out there and people are going to smell that. So you want to think about those things. Probably the better way, if you got that hobo stove, is go up on the roof and do your cooking up there. So then that smoke is just going straight up then. And it, just think about location where you're cooking too. Okay. So, how long is expired medication usable? It really, really depends. If you freeze medication, it's going to last longer. If the shelf life on a lot of stuff, it's only going to last for so long. Okay, so I'm hopefully that helps. Fukushima, yeah, it's poison in the ocean, guys. Very, very bad. Alcohol stove, yep, not a bad thing to have. What dating app is genius? Somebody has said I should make my own Prepper Nurse One dating. So that's what I was saying. That's genius. How far away should a person need to be from a nuclear power plant? The further away you can get from one, the better. I would say minimum of 40 miles. And if it's, because you're looking at fallout and radiation lingering for a long, long time in that area. But if you can be farther away than that, then that would be great. We do have bears up here up in New York as well. Yes, we have bears. Basically, just black bears up here, and black bears are more afraid of you than you are of them. Believe it or not. Yeah, if you freeze meds and freeze dry them, they're going to last longer. But as far as how long they're going to be really good for, they're going to lose their potency like anything else over time. So. Let's see. Again, if anybody has questions, all caps, please, so that they stand out to me a little bit more. Most likely event to trigger it all. Man, there are so many. It is any number of things. A pandemic, the grid going down, nuclear attack. There's the collapse of the dollar. I mean, there's so many. It's just ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. What are the warning signs? You just got to watch what's going on locally. Big thing is too, guys, pay attention what's happening locally around your own town and stuff like that. The biggest thing that you got to remember, it is better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I mean, that's probably the best advice that I can give you. So the more prepared that you can be, again, it's not about fear. It's not about fear. It's about, staying focused and taking care of business, and just keep continuing to live life. And, that's the important thing. That is definitely an important thing. So somebody asked, does my work and my coworkers know that I prep? I retired from nursing last year, guys. I needed a break. I don't want to do it anymore, to be honest with you. A lot of politics that I got tired of. And so I wanted to be more around the homestead, to be around the kids. And since my cancer surgery, my back isn't what it used to be, so I can't go like I used to go. My last job, I was eating Tylenol like it was candy. I don't take any stronger meds than that because I don't like narcotics. So that's what's going on with that. So I retired. And I don't miss it. I'll be honest with you, but I miss my patients. I don't miss the politics and the BS though. That I don't miss. What's the biggest thing I see coming? The thing that scares me the most is the grid. The grid is so vulnerable that if it was attacked or if it was shut off on purpose, that would be catastrophic. Catastrophic. So that would be my biggest concern. Yes. Yeah, I could consult like Patriot Nurse does. I could do that. I've thought about maybe doing seminars. Tell me what you guys think. Would you be interested if I did some seminars? I mean, I could go around and set up some dates, different parts of the country, and come visit people, and have an agenda and talk about stuff like that. If you're interested. So, what about smartphones and devices? Will they be tracked? If you have a phone, okay, if you got a phone, they can find you. So yeah, you can be tracked. There's no doubt about that. Okay. Uh, Disinfectants, Tylenol, Advil, save all those things. Save as much as you possibly can. You're going to need them because, like I said, this is one of the biggest things I tell people all the time: hide from drones. That's a tricky one because it's like if they're flying drones and trying to chart locations and find out, they can find you. So yes, definitely we do. We definitely need that. That would be a cool site to have. Buy burner phones under false names. Even a burner phone has a tracking device, so you can be found. That's the one thing. It's hard to find or hard to hide right now. So somebody asked about fish antibiotics. Fish antibiotics are definitely a good thing to have, in my opinion. It's the same exact ingredients as amoxicillin. They just call it fish mox. So I definitely, would it be something that I would do personally? Yes. I would definitely get fish mox. You can get it online, and I would definitely do that. But that's me. I'm not telling you what to do. You can do whatever you feel is in your heart, but it's the same exact ingredients as amoxicillin. Okay, so it's a personal choice. Yeah, willow tree bark. Yep, it's just like aspirin. Absolutely. And again, those are things. If you get the books and the information, you can find out all those things. We have plants out here that it's a painkiller, just as strong as morphine, but not as addictive. Okay, so let's see. Do I have a greenhouse? Not yet, but that hopefully will happen this year. That is my game plan. I definitely want to get a greenhouse in this year. So there's a couple, the chicken coop's got to get done. The solar rack's got to get done. Those are the first two things that are happening this year. And then after that, it's going to be the greenhouse. But if I do the greenhouse, I want to do it right. I want to do geothermal all the way. And I would like to set up an aquaponics system in it as well. So that's going to be a ton of videos. So that'll be fun. Let's see. What plants do I grow? You know what? We grow tomatoes every year, cucumbers, squash, zucchini, yellow squash. We grow peppers. This last year we put in potatoes. We put in onions. So there's so many different things that you can do, as far as that goes. Yeah, wild lettuce is the morphine-like painkiller. Yep, thank you very much for saying that. And that's Renee Brown put that up there. Yep, wild lettuce. It's the same exact effect as morphine without the addiction. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Okay, how many acres are you on? Right now I have 3 acres. Down the road there's 3 like really, really close that I want to pick up, which would give me 6. So I definitely want to look at going with that down the road. So that's definitely what I plan on doing. So, but that all depends. When's Mom coming back in the spring? So look for Mom probably in April. She is with my sister for the winter because I wanted to make sure she was warm being older, and there's no way she could have stayed warm in the camper. So when Mom's here, she stays in the camper, and so she has her privacy. That's why she does. I would like to eventually have something built up here for Mom so that she can stay up here year round as well, and then I can keep an eye on her. So that's because I always told her I will take care of her. Pressure canning meats and veggies, definitely a good idea. Absolutely a good idea. Let's see. Oh, wild lettuce grows in almost every state. Okay, but be aware of a lot of lookalikes. Okay, well, thank you for that, Renee. Let's see. Okay, got a whole bunch of stuff going on here, guys. We completely have gotten off the original topic about living off grid or moving off grid, but that's okay. I'm looking at your questions, and I'm trying to answer what you guys are asking too. Let's see. EPI pens. I don't know how long these. I think you can store them for quite a while, though. I believe that they will last quite a while because I know my mother uses one. So, water filter. Yes, you need to have water. Be some way to purify water, guys. When SHTF happens, not if, but when SHTF happens, having clean drinking water is going to be key. It's going to be huge because if you don't have clean drinking water, you're going to have a lot of dysentery. You're going to have a lot of people dying from that. Okay. You're going to have a ton of people dying from that. And it's a horrific thing. It's not the way to go. It really, really isn't. So I would definitely, recommend, having several different ways to purify water. Hold on a second. Let's see what we got. Okay, so somebody just messaged me life straws, water purification tablets, Katadyn water filter, having a Berkey water filter, making your own filter using charcoal, crushed charcoal, sand, small rocks, layer after layer. Can use a big old garbage can, use a plastic garbage can. Okay, many layers of that. You put holes in the bottom, pour the water in the top, filter that down through. Once that water is filtered through, then you take it and boil it to a rolling boil. Okay, so that's definitely the way to do it. I do not have a ham radio at the moment, Dudley. I don't at the moment, but it's definitely high on my list of things that I need to take care of. It really is. Let's see. Growing grains, is right. Yeah, you're going to need grains if you have wildlife, if you have cows and stuff like that and horses, you're going to need grains. So yeah, I would definitely, but you're going to need a lot more land to grow grain in and stuff like that. So that's something to think about. Okay. Let's see. Swamp areas. A lot of people won't go into swampy areas. That is for sure. If that's where you want to bug out to, but again, make sure you can clean that water. That's going to be really, really important. How many jars did I can from my garden? I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. I didn't really do a count. We are going to continue canning. We're going to do it every year. Like I said, as soon as I can get the, as soon as I can get the greenhouses up, I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more canning after that. We're going to enlarge the garden this year. So, like I said, I got a lot of plans, and hopefully SHTF doesn't happen and we can get things done. But, time will tell. Time will tell. Okay. So, fermenting or canning, which is better? I like canning better. That's just a personal preference. Okay. Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, they'll last a long time for aspirin and powders. Somebody had just put that up there. Put them in Mylar bags and they'll last a long time with an oxygen absorber. So, that's another way of doing it. Sawyer mini water filter, 100,000 gallons, $19.97 at Walmart. Wow, $11.99 on eBay. Okay, well, thank you, Joseph, for that information. Oh, no, I just saw somebody else say don't put oxygen absorbers in with aspirin because it will change the chemical mixture of it. So there's, and thank you, Colorado Biker, for putting that up there. Tobacco, that I don't know. I know tobacco has a shelf life, though. I don't know what the best brand of Fish Mox to get. Like I said, Fish Mox is going to be the same thing as amoxicillin. So, if you're looking to get that, that would be, again, would be a personal choice that you would want to do online. All right. Oh, yeah. Now my cousin again just put up another comment. Homemade smokehouses for meat and hunting. If you make a home, make your own jerky, guys, it'll last a lot longer. Okay, so that's a good advice there. Once SHTF happens, if you are near a farm, a dairy farm or something like that, and you can get a cow or two, yeah, botulism with canning, yes, you have to watch out for that, absolutely. So, but with with being able to get a cow, slaughter it, being able to freeze that meat if you can freeze it, if you have a way to keep things cold. Again, an underground ice house. They did them for years and years and years with no electricity. So a great way to do it to store meat long term as well. So, and again, if you jerk the meat too, it's a better way to do it too. Let's see. Oh, tobacco can last for a year if you pack it properly, somebody's saying. Yeah, store booze for barter. I actually have booze set aside for barter. I do. Tobacco is gross. Yeah, I'm not a smoker, so it's not my thing either. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people going to want a cigarette. There's a lot of people are going to want to have a drink. So that's something to remember, guys. Okay, that's something definitely to remember. Let's see. So if you're looking to go off grid and you want to go off grid, location would be my first thing again. Taxes is another thing. Local laws, the number of people. You're looking for freedom is what you're looking for an off-grid location. You're looking for a location where you can do what you want to do and not be harassed. So those are things that you want to take into consideration. And again, it's where you're comfortable with. Me, I've always loved the mountains. I've loved higher elevation. Even though it's colder in the winter, it's warmer or cooler in the summer as well. So if it's 95 in town, it might be 90 up here. Now that don't sound like a whole lot, but it makes a difference, okay? So let's see. Glass jar and vacuum packed. Colorado Biker, best way to store medication, glass jar and vacuum pack it. Okay, well, thank you for that advice. Yes, somebody just wrote down have food caches in various locations. I have talked about that in videos. Very, very important, guys. Having caches aside and not just one or two. Have them in every direction away from your property, north, east, south, and west, okay? And more than just four, okay? Have different places. Have places, if you were coming from work, if you have to drive a long distance, bury a cache that if you had to hike it on foot, you can hit that cache, you can get supplies and make it home. That's a lot, really, really important, okay? Battlefield first aid video, would I consider doing that? I can do that. I can definitely do that. Starting off in a camper. Yeah, you know what? It's not a bad way to go because you have everything that you need in that camper. Again, it depends on your location. If you're in the south, it's more tolerable to deal with the temperature swings in the winter, where if you're in the north, you really would have to winterize that camper. And if you could have some kind of small wood stove in there, it would make it more tolerable, okay? But that's how we started, and it was very normal for us. I mean, it was not a big deal. We got our house, I think it was in October, and we were actually, I think by November, we were already sleeping in the house because it had gotten way too cold with the camper. The camper just wasn't staying warm. But again, I live in New York. So again, depending on your location, starting off in a camper is not a bad thing, and then building from there, and if you're chasing winter, that's what you need to think about as well. Let's see. Extra eyeglasses on hand. Yeah, that's important too. Definitely need to have 3-4 pairs of eyeglasses because when they break, you can't go get any more. So having extra eyeglasses is definitely important. Okay. Go to the dollar store, get reading glasses for people that are older that are having a hard time seeing. I mean, for $1, where are you going to go wrong? Pick up 20 pairs. You never know who's going to use them. I mean, it may sound like overkill, but not a bad thing at all. I'm in New York City and I'm interested. How do I go about this? Like I said, if you want to shoot me an email, preppernurse1@yahoo.com, I can, give me your number. I'll call you. We can talk. Okay. Silver coins for emergency cash. You know what? You should have some silver. I definitely have. So I don't recommend gold at all too hard to get rid of, even in the best of times. And you really can't get in small enough denominations, in my opinion, to make it worth its while. But if you can have, pre-1964 older coins, like with quarters and dimes, definitely a smart thing to have. I have silver on hand myself, so that's so some guns and ammo, or someone will take everything else. Yeah, you need to be able to defend yourself, guys. I definitely think that that's important to do. Also, like I said, crossbows, slingshots, a compound bow, those type of things, really, really important, because if you have to take somebody out, you might want to do it on the quiet. You might not want to just go out there and start banging away at somebody, okay? If you have a 12 gauge, grandma can shoot a 12 gauge as long as she can point it in the right direction. So real good home defense gun is a 12 gauge. Having different things, it's important. You need to be thinking about those things, okay? Oh, copper, right. Somebody was just talking about copper pre-1982. The copper coins. Copper can be used for a lot of things as well. So that's another thing you might want to think about is saving those pennies. I know I have a jar with quite a few of those pennies. So somebody else was making a comment. Let's see. Yes, get your eyeglasses and higher prescription than what you already have as well in case your eyes get worse. That's important as well. Very good advice. Thank you very much. Night vision binoculars. Yes, they would come in very, very handy. Give you a tactical advantage. It would make life so much easier for you to be able to do that, okay? Let's see. Vaseline. Yeah, you know what? I love having, I'm going to show you guys. Vaseline. Take Vaseline. It helps with dry skin. For me, my feet, my elbows, and my knees get real dry in the winter up here. So I use them a lot on my elbows, on my knees, and on my feet. You also can take that Vaseline, take a cotton ball, and use it as a fire starter, okay? Pellet gun, stop a person. It's going to hurt them. It might not completely stop them. My recommendations, instead of a pellet gun, get yourself a 22. 22 are very, very cheap ammo, and it definitely will put somebody down. Okay, so that would be my advice on that. Somebody said about going underground. We've talked about going underground a little bit before. It's definitely not a bad thing to have something underground, but you better make sure you have more than one way out when you have something underground. That is important, okay? Okay, guys, listen, it's already been an hour here, so I don't want this to run much past this point. So I am going to definitely jump off here for right now. Again, if you have ideas that you want me to do future chats on, I'm going to be doing live chats 3 days a week, okay? I'm going to do it every Wednesday, every Friday, and every Sunday. And I'm going to keep it at 8 o'clock every one of those nights, okay? So that way, anybody on the West Coast, it's 5 o'clock out there. So that's what we're going to do for that, okay? So other than that, so just if you want to hear a topic, shoot me an email and we'll make up some topics. I will let everybody know probably in tomorrow's video what Sunday's topic is going to be, okay? So remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. That's really, really important. I just had a dear friend of mine, young man that I used to take care of, just lost his father very, very suddenly. And, so that's something that's it's very, very difficult, because, you never get a chance to say goodbye unless you tell that person every day. Remember, guys, we are all in this together. That's important to remember, okay? And remember STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you guys from getting there is yourself, okay? So I hope everybody has a great night. Look for tomorrow's video. Actually, I'm going to be doing a review of another one of the legacy food products. And I have another product that was sent to me that I'm going to show you as well. So those are going to be for tomorrow. And then I'll let you know what the video is going to be for Sunday. Okay, so look for that. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. And thanks for watching, guys. And thank you for the donations. I appreciate it. It really does mean a lot. And anything, I just want you guys to know, too, any donations I receive goes directly back into supporting this channel, to doing projects around the homestead and stuff like that, okay? I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.